What's up, everyone? This is the BumCast. I am your host, HBIC, the head bum in charge, along with Baloney, the Southside bum, and Dougie Fresh. And gents, how we doing? Football is officially over. Oh my God, it feels like just yesterday we started off our hopes and dreams of the Bears winning a lot of games, but it didn't happen. But season is officially over, and it's sad. I'm hurt. I'm gonna cry.
You know what? I got one thing to say to Kansas City. You guys suck. I love it.
I thought for a second Dougie had a Chiefs hoodie on.
No. Amazing. Taco Madre.
Yeah, Peter, you got a new setup there. We saw you had it last week.
I moved a couple things in my original setup that you guys all know with the whiskey bottles and everything else. I moved two things. I said, I hate everything. Time to redo it. So this is actually Julie's setup for work. She set up an office in the basement, but then she also has a work desk in our bedroom that she uses all the time. She never ended up using this setup. I think maybe like 2-3 times. So I said, you know what? I'm taking it for now. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do in this basement. And I'm like, you know what? This will work for now. But I also have something to say to Kansas City and everyone in general, because I can't stop saying it. Mustard! I'm obsessed with the mustard.
Nice. Johnny, you had your birthday celebrated on Friday. How was the rest of your weekend? Did you feeling a little hungover or?
Saturday morning I was. Afterwards I went to Road Dog. He messaged me saying, hey, I'm at the electric funeral, so stop by there for a drink or two. But no, I mean I was fine. Saturday, me, Peter, fam, we all went to Disney on Ice, which was great. Took the kids and all that, so that was really fun. And then obviously Sunday, watched the Super Bowl. So Saturday I had to give myself a rest from drinking because I think I overdid it a little bit. Obviously, who was there. I appreciate you guys being there and all that. And I know everybody was sending me some money as well too for drinks and whatnot. So I do appreciate on that as well too. And that was an impromptu type of get together. It was just something where I'm just like, I told you guys like after the show I was just gonna go there for a couple drinks and some other people like stopped by as well too. So I really appreciate everybody who went there. But yeah, it was fun. I think I had a little bit too much, like I said, because people kept on buying me drinks. So, but like I said, it was definitely a good birthday. So it was a good birthday weekend.
Johnny, you mentioned Disney on Ice and you said you're taking it easy. I'm glad you didn't drink at Disney on Ice because I got swindled real bad, real hard. We got our tickets. We're all in line. We all got settled in. We got a little bit of time. I'm like, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick before the show starts. I go to the bathroom and rightfully so, right next to the men's bathroom, there's this guy selling vodka lemonades. And he's got,
I did see that. Yeah.
Vodka lemonades right by the men's bathroom. So you know what? I'm like, all right, I'll do one vodka lemonade before the show starts. Take a guess how much that costs. It was like a 12 ounces.
12 ounce?
Like 12 ounce. It was small.
At where was this? United Center?
Allstate.
$19.
I'll go $17.50.
$23 without tip. Disney. I don't know if that's a Disney thing or an Allstate thing, but early bum of the week for the worst vodka lemonade I ever had for $23.
Holy shit.
Was it just like super sugary and like?
Nah, it was just the lemonade was good. I didn't taste no vodka, so
that means there probably wasn't any vodka in it. That you probably got a $23 lemonade, dude. They've really swindled you
brutal.
there.
That's awesome. You bought that, and now you're the one that's goofy.
Yeah. No, I felt like an idiot. But the other thing I wanted to mention before we get the show going, because we did want to talk about a little bit Disney on Ice with you, Johnny. We were texting back and forth during the show while the show was going. And that's another early bum of the week myself. I didn't know any of the songs. The format to this thing, they started with like Wish. I've never seen Wish. They did Frozen 2, which is the worst of the two Frozens. Like Frozen 1 is the one, puts asses in seats. Like the first hour of the show, I'm like, I don't know any of these people. I don't know what's going on. Bring back Winnie the Pooh. I was yelling. I wanted like Winnie the Pooh or we riot, basically.
There was no Winnie the Pooh. But,
there was no Winnie the Pooh.
There was malfunctions towards the end of the show where the crab from Moana was trying to go into to the doors, and the doors weren't closing.
Oh shit!
So you see Moana, you see Maui, and they're skating and all that, and all of a sudden you just hear the singing just dim.
Yeah,
keep on going down, and they just skated off, and then all of a sudden it was pitch dark, and they turned the blue lights on, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? For 10 minutes, they didn't tell us anything what was going on. So people were thinking that the show was over. I saw some people like walking out there like, oh, I guess the show's over and all that. Obviously I stayed because I wanted to see like, what was going to happen. And eventually they finished and they closed the show out. But yeah, they had a little bit of a malfunction towards the end of the show.
So one question I have for you guys, because I took like a niece there like 10 years ago. Haven't been back since. I just remember vendors upon vendors walking up and down the aisles trying to sell you every little knickknack like thing. They still doing that?
Dude, thank God. I mean, Johnny, I'm sure we all spent money. We all spent money buying our kids things. Thank God we took my mom. So grandma was in the mood for a little shopping. So we kind of skated by. Yeah. The other thing was at the end of the show, once the show was over, I think the vendors were just trying to get rid of their stuff. Okay. So a wand that was originally like $26, one guy sold it to me for $10. I felt like I was at like Shoporama's flea market or something.
What?
Like, oh yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, I
bought that one for $40.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. I got it for $10. My mom was like, "Wow, that was a good deal." I was like, "Hell yeah, it was last one." Oh. I mean, my daughter didn't get to enjoy it during the show, but she took it home. Same difference.
So Johnny, going back to your birthday, I will say the one thing I was pleasantly happy about was seeing Yingling on tap now at Cork and Carry's.
Yes,
it's arrived and it's damn good. I was slamming those pretty well on Friday, and
we tried to get keg.
Oh yes, they had to change the keg out. I tried to get you to do some shots, but you didn't want anything. But I hopefully, you got some later in the night. But yeah, I'm happy Yingling's on in Chicago now. Let's get it in cans and bottle form so we can have some of that at Lot B, man. We need that to represent for the Whiskey at Comiskey.
And I kept on saying it the wrong thing. I kept on saying Yuling.
Oops.
Youngling.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is it Youngling?
Drake?
No, it's not.
Oh, I was like, wait.
No, I said Yuling. I said Yuling. I thought that's what it was pronounced.
All right. So I hope everyone. Oh, that's a wand, Peter.
Yeah, Scarlett brought it. $10. Look at this.
Dude,
what a deal.
That's a back scratcher, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good point.
That's a Barry Horowitz back scratcher.
No, the one I got Avery was the Mickey Mouse one. It was like kind of like it glows kind of like that. I didn't see that one though.
I don't know how to turn this thing off. Yeah, $10. What a deal.
Yeah. That is a good deal.
It's probably still overpriced.
Yeah, they made them in China for $250.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into before we get into the Super Bowl, I want to say, guys, I popped my beef Wellington sherry for the first time on Saturday. Fucking brought a tear to my eye having that, man.
Honestly, I was surprised when I read that was your first time ever. You being the foodie that you are, I was a little surprised, but I mean, hey, if you're gonna do it, got to do Gordon Ramsay's.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Restaurant Week. I love that you can throw the little petite mini Wellington on there, and they have to pay full price for one. So, but I'm definitely a Wellington guy now. Like, I'm gonna be going back and getting the full size beef Wellington. I think that's I'm a
yeah. Explain it. explain it to I was going to say the people that don't know. I'm sure everyone in the comments knows what a beef Wellington is, but explain it to this Mexican that only eats asada.
It's a fillet cooked medium rare that's wrapped in a pastry bread.
Yeah.
And there's like sauce on the like a sauce on the inside of whatever, and they serve it with a little like a red wine reduction glaze, and you just slice it open, and there's your bread with meat and dip it in sauce and just melts in your mouth.
It's also got really, really nice mushrooms that are done in brandy. So you fire them off in brandy, and then you wrap the whole thing in Dijon and prosciutto. So
Damn,
it's a process. It's a process.
I'll be honest, I've never had a beef Wellington before.
Yeah,
it doesn't look that great to me. It seems like the
lights
pastry
out.
is just in the way.
Pastry makes it.
Less bread, more meat is.
It's like the French tortilla, my friend. It holds it together.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some Super Bowl talk, guys, because I have some thoughts about that game, and I think we all said we were Philly scumbags, yesterday. So go Eagles for not letting Patrick Mahomes get the three-peat. But I will say I got an early bum of the week, the Chiefs, because they fucking killed all my bets the way they played that game. That was
Killed a lot of bets.
fucking brutal. That first 20 Mahomes with 25, 24, 36 yards in passing like the entire first half. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like,
I think total yards was like 17 for the first half.
Yeah. The Eagles had more points than the Chiefs had yards at one point when it was 24. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone was expecting that big of an ass kicking. And it was a straight up belt to ass. Stepchild ass kicking. Like, it was bad. I thought it was going to be a close game. One of my bets was no lead no lead more than 13.5. I'm like, oh, that's easy. That's cake. That bet was over in the first quarter. I was like, damn. But yeah, man, I think it was just surprising. We said it like on our Super Bowl preview show. I said, like, top to bottom, the Eagles are a better team. The X factor was Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. And when Pat Mahomes is playing a bad game, the Chiefs have no one to turn to. They can't run the ball. Their receivers aren't weapons, to tell you the truth. Like, Xavier Worthy had a good game, but that was all garbage time. Like, their receivers can't get open on their own. So yeah, they had no answers. The defense from the Eagles were lights out. And we noticed it right away where they were only rushing 4. And then I saw the stat earlier today. No blitzes the entire game. They're getting so much pressure with the front 4. And when that offensive line is struggling like that, I mean, Mahomes was, running for his life. I saw people comparing it to Caleb Williams just running back there with no time. And it was brutal. So congrats to the Eagles, man. It was well-deserved. They just flat out kicked ass. People were complaining that I wish the game was a little bit closer. And to tell you the truth, a lot of the times, especially like Johnny, we watched the game together. In a close game, you don't necessarily enjoy the Super Bowl that much because then, like, I want to be watching the game. I got to take notes or I got to, remember this for the podcast or this, that. This game was over so fast. I was like, all right, let's enjoy some commercials. I got up to get some drinks or, get to eat, joke around with Missy and everyone else. Like, this game was over. I was like, I don't have to pay attention to shit. So I liked it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I would say, like, I thought it was going to be a very low scoring game. Like, I knew they were going to score, but I didn't think that the Eagles were going to go up the way that they did. Obviously, with Steve Spagnuolo and Vic Fangio, I thought it was going to be a defensive battle. I thought it was going to be kind of like similar to what we saw with this was a while ago. It was like Carolina and the Patriots when they were scoring nothing, and all of a sudden there was like an offense explosion. I kind of felt like that's where it was going. But the minute that they just started scoring, I'm just like, well, this is kind of surprising. And then the way that the Patrick Mahomes was struggling, somebody pointed out there was a video out there that somebody was saying that maybe Mahomes might have got a concussion or hit his head or something, which I don't think it was all that bad, but I just think that the better team won, and obviously, we got to face this Philadelphia team next year. So hopefully we can get some offensive help. That Trey Smith, man, like he was, that whole offensive line of the Chiefs could not stop that front four of Philadelphia. I mean, they were looking like, the 85 Bears out there. Like it was just nonstop aggression, kind of taking out the playbook of what they did with Mahomes when it was Tampa Bay versus Kansas City Chiefs. It was the same script. And I just think that it was beautifully done. That's how you have to be Mahomes. And Peter, you hit it on the nail. I mean, Mahomes doesn't have like anybody else. They barely passed it. I'm sure that Kelsey either had a block or they couldn't use him that much because that defense was just great from top to bottom. And like I said, the better team won, and congrats to the Eagles. And even Vic Fangio. I've always been a big Vic Fangio fan since he was, even before the Bears. I thought he had a really good defense when he was the defensive coordinator in San Francisco. You look and you saw what he built with the Bears as well too. I just think that he deserved. This is his first ring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does. He deserves it as well too. I've always liked his defensive schemes, and it goes to show how much of a great defensive coordinator he is.
At one point during that Super Bowl, I just looked over to my buddy Teddy and I go, "This is what Patrick Mahomes would have looked like if the Bears drafted him, with no
100%.
Offensive line." Yeah, that's what we would have gotten.
Yeah, 100%. I was out at a bar yesterday for my brother's 40th birthday, so they didn't do like a Super Bowl thing. And I was, like what Peter was mentioning earlier, I'm like, at first I'm sitting down and I'm trying to watch, pay attention. Everyone's, just no one's really paying attention. They're all mingling, drinking, doing shots, eating. Now me and my wife were sitting there, we're watching the game, and paying attention and like taking, mental notes. And it was like halftime, 24-0, which by the way, thank you, because we won strip card for halftime. So even though all my bets did jack shit yesterday, at least I ended up winning $100 in strip cards. So I'll take that. Thank you very much. So yeah, I was after halftime, after that first 3 and out from the Chiefs after second half, I'm like, all right, I'm going to start mingling, getting the party going. This game's officially over. All my bets are not hitting. Maybe I'll get the sack one, but that was still even shocking that like no one, that Jalen Carter and Chris Jones, neither of them, got sacks yesterday.
Oh. Dude, I was jumping across the room, dude, when I was watching, because I had sent the group text out to you guys. I had taken the Jalen Carter sack, fumble, and recovery for plus 8,000, and I'm watching the TV, and I'm like, you guys, at that point, like the game's over. I don't really care. I had totally forgot about that bet, and then all of a sudden I see him and his line mate come up the middle, and I'm watching it from a distance, and I see the sack, I see the fumble and the recovery, and I'm like, oh my God, like I just went absolute nuts because it would have won me like $1,600. And then flag comes out, whole thing, and it wasn't him anyway, but I was like, oh, for that couple of moments, heart was going.
I think a lot of like bets were, I know if you had like parlays with the Chiefs and the Eagles, obviously I think for the most part your Eagles bets were hitting. But if you had it with the Chiefs, I think I had what I thought would have been an easy 40 plus yards for Kelsey. I would have thought that, I just some of this other stuff, anytime touchdowns would have been, with Kareem Hunt, like, or Kelsey as well too. He usually comes out pretty much in these big games, and he was just like non-existent in that offense.
He's washed.
Yeah. I don't know if this is his last season or not. I know there's some, rumors saying that, either he might come back or not. I mean, he's had an awesome career. I mean, there's nothing to like, hang his head down. I mean, he's been a Super Bowl champion multiple times.
Right.
But yeah, did anybody? I'm just wondering, did anybody take that coin toss that I put out there? Anybody out there? Did you take that bet?
I should have taken it. I should have taken your bet, Johnny. I should have taken Peter's bet with the field goal. I put, I did my bets and I sprinkled some other stuff. I should have listened to Dougie with his next gen stats bets, because I would at least have came out a little bit under, maybe even ahead if I would have taken those bets. And no, I did not listen, and I'm gonna bum myself, for not listening to you guys as well, because I thought my field goal and touchdown each half for each team was an easy bet. I thought Jalen Hurts and Mahomes each throwing for 30 yards a quarter was an easy bet to hit.
Right.
And then fucking Mahomes killed that bet in the first fucking quarter. I'm like, Jesus, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that was my only bet that hit, was the next gen Xavier Worthy for the longest air yard single pass, which happened like right at the end for that touchdown. So yeah, that $20 bet netted me $1.34. So that was nice. But my big parlay was crushed. It was crushed mainly by Kansas City. I had a 23 leg parlay that I threw $20 on.
23 legs?
23 legs.
What the fuck?
23 legs for $20 to win 18K. And this is what I missed it by. I had Kelsey getting 40 yards. He got 39.
Oh my God.
Pachenko, I had him getting 15 rushing yards, was only good for 7. Hunt, I had him for 20 rushing yards. He got 9. And then the other leg that didn't hit was Barkley TD, anytime TD. Everything else
shocking.
hit. 19 legs I hit out of that thing.
So that was my one thing about Barkley. I don't think I took him for any time touchdown, just because I think everybody was expecting him to score that touchdown. I kind of had a better feeling that Jalen Hurts was going to score a touchdown whenever there was at goal line.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not that that they couldn't have used him, because I remember in the past 2 games against Kansas City where it was Mixon and it was Cook who did run pretty well against him. The most surprising thing though is I couldn't believe that Barkley didn't get at least 80 yards. Yeah. He even hit that. I thought at least he was going to get 80 yards. But that didn't happen. I mean, unless you're very like, you're looking and paying attention to all this stuff and looking at all the stats and everything like that. Yeah. Again, nobody expected Kansas City to literally fumble the way they did. Nobody, I didn't even think they were going to get an interception for a return touchdown, but that's what happened on this guy's birthday for all,
Yeah.
So I got a question for you guys. While we wait for Peter, he should be joining us here in a minute here. Oh, wait, I think he's back right now. And cue the baloney. All right. So I got a question for you guys here. So after Philly won, the Philly mob, they went down, Broad Street, and they're doing their Philly things of jumping on poles, knocking them down, whatever. So I got a question for you guys. What's, if when the Cubs won, that was all party Clark Street. If the Bears win the Super Bowl, where are the fans congregating at? Where are we mobbing at?
Naperville.
Obviously, you can't do. Obviously, you're not going to do Lakeshore Drive.
I would probably say like Russian
Grand
Division
Park or Michigan Avenue or
Russian Division would probably be a
Russian
good
Division.
One. Yeah,
Russian
it's always been kind of like the staple of, I mean, that's kind of where the Bulls, when they won their championships, they were filming over there, and I don't think anything's changed with that. But, I mean, I would assume everywhere. Like if the Bears won the Super Bowl, I would assume you're having people out in those streets everywhere. Like it's gonna be a big deal, just like how it was with any of the other championships. When the Blackhawks won, obviously we Jason and Peter, we were together, and we went down
Roberts Road.
Well, Archer, right?
No, Roberts Road.
Well, both. Yeah, we did we started on Archer,
Yeah.
and then we did the Roberts Road bar crawl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's really gonna determine how nice the weather is. You know,
Oh, that's true.
It might be a
-20.
real shitty day, and people would be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna celebrate at the bar."
Yeah, I guess it depends, man. It really does. Like, if it's Arlington, you would imagine if by that time, shovels are in the ground and the stadium's built and the surrounding area of bars and restaurants and stuff like that. I think that's probably a good place to go if that were to be the case. But yeah, otherwise it's all over the city. I don't think you can confine it to, somewhere, because the rest of the sports are localized. The Blackhawks more than the other teams are, kind of everywhere.
Mhm.
But like when the Sox went in 05, we were right down Halstead, celebrating on the south side. And yeah, I think the Bears are kind of all over the place. A lot B is a good answer. We'll head a lot B is for Bears.
Yeah. I think I like Johnny's idea. I think it would be like that Russian division, go to Viagra Triangle,
But all right, so if that is the case, are you going out to celebrate? Are you going to Russian division? No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
no, but I'm not part of like the Philly mob or the Bills Mafia or anything like that. Like, I'm not going there to vandalize and turn cars over and start.
They were gonna vandalize it whether if they won the Super Bowl or not. So that they knew that city was gonna be started. Lots of stuff going on, and it did.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap up Super Bowl talk here, thoughts on the halftime show, because I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the public, funeral of Drake. That was very entertaining. Yeah,
I liked it too. I'll admit I'm a casual Kendrick Lamar fan. I don't know or don't listen to his entire catalog, but there's 8 to 10 songs that I like, and he played most of them. I know there was a big complaint by big time Kendrick Lamar fans saying like he could have had a better set list. He could have, played more of a certain album or it was too like new. But for a casual viewer like me, I thought it was awesome. I enjoyed it. Obviously, the highlight of, just burying Drake once and for all on national television. That was good. That's what everyone was waiting for. And I like the fact that he teased it throughout his set, even with having Uncle Sam as Samuel L. Jackson saying like, "You're not going to play it, are you?" Or like they kept teasing it and they kept dropping little like teasers. And then at the end, here it comes, and the entire stadium goes crazy. That was awesome. You go on TikTok and Instagram, you see like the stadium's point of view and all the fans, calling Drake a pedophile while he didn't say it. He didn't say it on the but it was insinuated. So it was great. I liked it. I like when people are going mad for no reason either online. People are mad online.
Yeah, I had no issues with it at all. Again, I heard that there was a whole thing with it though, that if he played it, that he was going to get sued or something that was going to happen where if he started singing that song, that he would, not like us, that they were going to like sue him or something like that. Was that like a case? That's the reason why they kept on teasing it as well too, was to kind of like mess around with the broadcast and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna play it," and he finally was like, "I got you guys." I don't know if you heard of any of that as well too. There was another reason why he played it.
Yeah, I don't.
Or why he wouldn't play it. Like I can't imagine the NFL being like, "Hey, you can't play the song," when it's literally winning Grammys and right. Like the hottest song of the year. Like it would make no sense other than the fact that Drake is in his fields and probably sue a couple. 2-3 more times.
Yeah.
Jordan dropped this comment here, the A minor chain too.
Yeah.
My wife looked at me and she's like, "Is he wearing an Amazon logo chain?"
I'm not gonna lie, I saw a lot of those tweets saying like, "Oh, Amazon must have dropped a bag," and I was like, "Oh," like everything he does is like, you know what he is? It's almost like he is very much almost like wrestlers or even like a Marvel, where like everything is an Easter egg, or everything has a meaning, and every little thing means 2 or 3 different things. And that's what I like, that kind of shit. I like it with my movies, and then obviously now here too is awesome.
Yeah.
I liked how
we are
like
spoiled.
I like how like simple it was though too. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like over the top like in years past with like, flashy this, flashy that. I mean, they really used like the dancers and the artists and everything like that to really bring it out this year instead of like big elaborate sets and shit.
No jumping off stadiums.
Yeah, right.
or fat ass 50 Cent trying to do pull-ups.
Yeah. I mean, I'll agree with Baloney. I'm like, a casual listener. So like there was a few of the songs that I just didn't know, and then a few of the songs that I do know he didn't play. So this is what it is. That's my problem though.
So we have this conversation every year, and we had it, Johnny, at our uncle's house, like after the halftime show was over. There's a real short list of people that could pull it off nowadays. We had a conversation of like, there's really no, the last great American rock band. Like there's very few. We thought maybe Foo Fighters, if Dave Grohl, wins the general public back, which I think is like, a rock star being a rock star is not a bad thing. Like it was infidelity. It wasn't a lot of things. But when you are, the nice guy in rock and roll and that scandal comes out, you lose a lot of people. But I think Foo Fighters can do it. Other than that, like, is there like a band out there that could be like, oh, it's almost all pop stars now.
What if just to fuck with everyone, they put Taylor Swift next year?
She's too big. I think she's too big for it.
No, but I'm not saying you're wrong on that. But what I'm saying though is that like because she got mercilessly booed during when they showed her on television yesterday, what if the NFL just be like, we're just gonna shove her down your throat whether you like it or not next year and make her the Super Bowl halftime show? I think that would just break people's brains.
I don't know who it would be like as far as like a rock band. I kind of feel like rock music is kind of like I'm not saying it's dead, but I just feel like you don't have those big names anymore, like rock music or like, I mean, as far as pop, I mean, like, I guess the one thing though is whoever's like here right now, currently, I think they still got a little bit more time to, get to that next level of like, to be that halftime show. Obviously Taylor Swift will be one, but I don't even think she'll, she would do it. Unless Kelsey's going to sing with her. I mean, I don't know, but
I'll put money on it. If there's a prop bet, Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people nowadays. There's a lot of up and comers that I think can do it, but it's still too young. So Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo can do one, but like a decade from now. Even Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan's only got that one real successful album. I know she's been around for a little bit, but she really had 1 year and a half of real success. She follows that up with another banger of an album and maybe another one after that. You really have to have a catalog. You have to have 10 singles that everyone knows. And that's where the issue with Kendrick Lamar is, his fans are super fans. And like me as a casual, I knew most of them, but a lot of people just didn't know the songs. And that's where I'm saying like Foo Fighters are there. But like, I love Jack White. He pulls out a hell of a show, and the White Stripes maybe can do it because of like their popularity in the past. But like, there's a lot of these bands that just can't do it. Yeah, they would have to get back together.
Yeah, or
it's interesting. I think it's moved to more pop and rap.
I don't know if this would be something to think about. What about a band that is returning this year?
Oasis.
That would be something out of like left field, but they have enough like hit songs that would be like, I think that they would be somebody to pull it off. I don't know. Maybe the Red Hot Chili Peppers, have they been like a band that Peppers can do it?
Peppers have enough singles. The issue I have, Johnny, and it's a me problem, not a Peppers problem. I hate the Peppers. I don't like the Peppers at all. But I understand that they're a huge band with 12 singles that like are real bona fide singles. So I get that.
Yeah.
The other thing, one last thing I thought about, because we are now, unfortunately, guys, people in the comments, we are in Trump's America. I do expect a real bullshit like country like melody within the next 4 years in the Super
Like
Bowl.
Jason
And
Aldean or something.
No,
like,
I'm thinking like the fuck boys, the Morgan Wallens, the Zach Bryans, the like all of those. Like if you get 4 of those guys, they could probably put on a good show, like in the halftime show, because I mean that shit. I mean, it's real popular between Zach Bryan, Morgan Wallen, and all that. The only last guy we talked about on yesterday, Johnny, I forgot who mentioned it. Maybe it was Aaron, maybe it was someone else. I think Post Malone can do it because he's got something for everyone.
Oh yeah,
he's
that's
got
true.
the rap, he's got the hip hop, he could pull off the rock. He does a country album. I think Posty's there. I think Post Malone can do it.
Yeah, I would love to see him do like some more of that Nirvana, like he was doing when.
Yeah, that's
during
what I'm saying.
COVID.
He could do a little bit of everything.
That was so.
We
good.
need Post Malone to unify the country.
I don't think you're gonna get a Kid Rock.
He's in Bud Light commercials with Brett Kreischer now. So
yeah. I don't know if you saw there was like a Kid Rock video going around where he was trying. I forgot where he was at, but he was singing and he was trying to get the crowd to go clap like this. And they weren't, half of them were doing it. And then he just got fed up and was like, you know what? If you guys are not going to clap, I'm out of here. And he just stormed out. Imagine if he was at the Super Bowl and nobody was clapping. He would have just stormed out. So I don't think Kid Rock would be somebody that anytime soon would get that gig for just, that was only that was kind of like as big as the Aragon. I mean, that's how big this. I think the Aragon's all bigger than that place, but I'll have to send you the video because he was clapping and nobody else was.
And like to that point or whatever, that's why you cannot risk even giving Oasis a chance at that. You know, like the way that they just build up, you know, Super Bowls and everything like that, and you know, like it's months and months ahead of time. They can't risk like having to start from scratch 2 days beforehand because they hate each other again. You know.
You think Eminem would do something like that?
He kind of did though, didn't he?
He did.
I mean, he was with the 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Dr.
I know,
Dre,
but I'm talking about that. I mean, his stuff. Yeah.
He's big enough. Yeah, of course he's big enough to do
like
a show by himself.
I'm just trying to think of like other like hip hop like artists as well too that or even pop.
Jay-Z.
Wu-Tang's coming back. Give me a Wu-Tang.
Jay-Z, yeah.
Even though like
the
guys are not.
That's the other thing though too, is you got to have like these bands that are going to want to pay, because you as a band, you pay to be on the Super Bowl. You don't get paid to be on the Super Bowl. So I'm guaranteed that's why Metallica hasn't been on it yet, because fucking Lars likes to get paid, not pay people.
Jordan keeps saying Kanye. I'm only in on Kanye if it's just a hologram of old Kanye from a decade ago, and he's only able to play the first 3 albums. And at that point, I might just make a Spotify playlist and listen to myself, because we can't.
It has to be a hologram, because number one, he would purposely like delay the start of the halftime show by an hour.
Oh,
yeah, 45 minutes halftime just delayed. And then obviously, Dougie, you're gonna have to close your eyes because his wife will be out there half nude, and Dougie can't bear to watch that.
Dougie hates boobs.
Can't.
All right.
My morals.
All right, that wraps up Super Bowl talk. We got some more Bears talk next, but before that, pay some bills.
The original Chickies Beef and Banquets is a proud sponsor of the BumCast. For the month of February, treat yourself and your loved ones to a delicious heart-shaped 16-inch pizza topped with your choice of 2 toppings. Plus, indulge in either 2 cannolis or 1 order of fried dough with dipping cream, all for just $30. It's the perfect gift to make someone feel extra special. Don't forget to check out Chickies' social media pages to find out all about their delicious deals. For dine-in, carry-out, drive-thru, or delivery, it's Chickies Beef at 4152 Roosevelt Road in Hillside. And while you're there, remember to tell them the Bump sent you.
All right, so we're going to transition to Bears talk, but it's because something happened, and that was Virginia McCaskey has passed away at the age of 102. And I have refrained from public comment, but I guess majority of you could probably assume my reaction when I heard the news, but I'm not gonna state it publicly. I'm gonna try to be a better
higher
person.
road.
I'm gonna take the higher road on this one.
Proud of you, Jason James. Proud of you.
The only thing I will say is one more to go. So, anyways, now that she has passed away, there's a lot of talk. And Peter, you said you became a lawyer over the weekend. You got your degree in estate law.
Bird law.
So now there's going to be a lot of speculation, a lot of talk for the next months, maybe a year or so, depending on how long this takes, of what the Bears are actually going to do with what the McCaskey's going to do with the team now. Is George the kid's going to sell it? They're saying that there's the inheritance tax. Can they afford to pay that? Virginia has to, not going to be a majority owner anymore. So who's going to be the new? So Peter, you got your findings. Break us down. What's next for the Bears?
So this could go a couple ways. And if you listen to the CHEO podcast, The Stretch talked about it earlier today, a bunch of other places. This is a lot of hearsay. We don't really know until the details of the will comes out. But for the longest time, and this has been going on for the first article I saw was about 6 years ago. But the NFL has been in lockstep with the McCaskey family, saying they are working in conjunction with them to keep basically the estate of the McCaskeys and the Bears ownership within the McCaskeys. Because when George Halas died, he owned close to 50% of the company. And he split them off 13 different ways to all of his grandchildren at the time as a way to avoid that inheritance tax that, Jason, we talked about privately, but we're like, I mean, it's a pretty number. When the last team that sold was the Washington Commanders. Check that. The Commanders sold for $6 million. You would think billion dollars. You would think the inheritance tax on a NFL team that is probably closer to the 8 and 9 billion range is astronomical. So all of the rumors, the McCaskeys aren't that liquid and stuff. They've set themselves up to be able to handle that burden. But it really matters on how Virginia splits it up, because she owned 20% of the Bears herself, but the McCaskeys as a family own about 80%. The other 20 goes to Pat Ryan of Northwestern fame, or he owned the Aon Corporation at one point. And I had it written down, he's 87 years old, but he has the right of first refusal. So if any of the McCaskey families wants to sell their shares, even if it's to another McCaskey family, Pat Ryan has the right to buy those shares first. So that's where it's interesting. We talked about, Johnny, we have a multitude of aunts and uncles. And while we are a close family, that's like this can get hairy. We have a family house in Mexico that was split between all of my aunts and uncles. They couldn't agree on what color paint to use on that, let alone what's going to happen, if you want to sell it or anything like that. And that's where the McCaskeys are kind of in a bind, but we won't know. We live in a time, especially like me, that we have the internet in our pocket at all times. We want instant gratification. If you need an answer, the internet's got it. But this is going to take a while. This might take 1, 2, 3 years. And the only thing that could speed that up is if, in fact, there's a big buyer out there that is interested in buying the Bears now, before they start building in Arlington or before anything gets settled with the city of Chicago. And that's where me and you, Jason, had this conversation. If you were to be buying the Bears right now, would you want that? Wouldn't you want that blank slate? Wouldn't you want that canvas of I'm building my stadium how I want it, and not buy it after the McCaskeys and Kevin Warren get their hands and fingers and grimy little thoughts on it? So yeah, that's it. It's we want to know. I personally I want to know what's going to happen. It could go a multitude of different ways, but it's this is going to be a long game.
Yeah.
When I heard this, you guys text me in the group chat saying that there was rumblings of her passing away, and nobody knew just quite yet until I had to go to the DMV that day. I had to go to DMV to renew my license and all that, and I was just listening to the radio along the way. And obviously, Virginia McCaskey, George Halas. I mean, it's just a rich history with the Bears and all that. Whether you hate her or whatever, I don't hate anybody, but it's just the fact that that was history. Throughout that process between Halas, and then she gave it over to Virginia. Actually, Halas gave it over to his son first,
Muggs.
and then he passed away. Yeah, and he passed away, and then it ended up going to Virginia. One of the interesting things that they were talking about, just a real quick story here, and I didn't even know this. I don't know if you guys knew this as well too. George Halas actually saved the Green Bay Packers from bankruptcy. Did any of you guys know that?
Didn't he give him like $300?
Yeah.
It was like multiple times.
Broke boy.
Yeah, there was like
Packers
multiple
had to go
times. He
back
wanted to keep the Packers in the league, so he helped them financially to keep them in there.
He paid for his own demise. What the fuck?
Well, the Bears at the time and the Packers, I think
Yeah.
the Bears were kicking the Packers' ass. So maybe he was like, "Here, I want to
Punching
keep
bag.
you in the league, so I can keep kicking your ass." That's what I want to do. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that George Halas, kept the Packers in business though. But yeah, we've always been talking about like owners, like who would you want to be as the owner? Some of these names that keep on popping up all the time. You hear Jeff Bezos, or would you want to have Mark Cuban? Or would you want to hear have another somebody who really is passionate about football? It doesn't have to be a flashy name. If you got money, you got the investors, and you really care about the Bears franchise, this is going to be a high commodity for any owner to own, because they know how much money they're going to get from just everybody. The Bears are a very big team. Yes, our history doesn't say it. We've been sucking over like the past couple of years or decades or whatever, and we've had times where we have been successful. We've only won one Super Bowl. We've had 9 NFL, or was it 8 NFL championships?
Yeah, the champion, the dark days.
I mean, it's time for a change. Hopefully there's somebody out there that, has a passion for football, that wants to win. And, hopefully it's out there. I don't know who it is, but hopefully whoever does buy the Bears, if they are for sale or they can't buy out the McCaskies and the NFL approves of it. I mean, I hope it's somebody that's very passionate about not only the Bears franchise, but football and just about the city in general.
Here's the problem. And sorry, Jay, but we've seen this time and time again. Johnny, we're both soccer fans. Whenever there's a huge team in Europe that gets sold, or even recently in American sports, owners aren't necessarily passionate about winning or passionate about a city. They're passionate about making money hand over fist. We've seen it now with the Ricketts, and while they won a championship, they care more about winning. This is a business to them. This is a passion to us. This is what we want to win. And that's where, though the McCaskies had their flaws or their warts, and there are many to talk about, there's no guarantee that the next owner isn't going to be just as bad as the McCaskies. We want to hope, Mark Cuban was great with the Mavs, but there's no real thought of like, oh yeah, he knows what he's doing with the NFL, or he cares about, winning a Super Bowl. Same thing with like Bezos. Bezos has all the money in the world. That's awesome. I'm sure he's worried about 1,000 different teams. The NFL team that he owns is probably last on that list, even when he does become an owner. So it's interesting. Like, are we due for new ownership in the city of Chicago? Absolutely. Am I going to be happy when it happens? Yeah. But we also have to be careful about who owns it, because like, as much as the, Cubs broke their curse, we know a lot of Cubs fans. They're just as pissed off as the Ricketts as we are with the Reinsdorfs.
So what I meant by that is that, yes, you're going to have a lot of people, like business type of people, that are only going to care what that's coming into their pocket. There are owners out there that actually do give a shit. That Arthur Blank is one of them. That Robert Kraft was another one. When the Patriots were, he would do anything, to win. If you look at the Boston Red Sox,
cheat.
John Henry, passionate about it. Steinberg was passionate about the Yankees. I hope that, into this, that, there will be somebody out there. I'm just more trying to be optimistic here that there will be somebody that will have that passion that us Bear fans has. So it's just a hope. You're right. Whoever goes in there is probably going to be more for the business standpoint of it than the passionate being a football fan and all that. But we deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
We definitely do.
Deserve a owner that, and even at that, at the time, I know, bringing his name up, but, Rocky Wirtz, he was very passionate about the Blackhawks and, and the championships and all that, and we deserve that to have that. Tom Ricketts, I felt like when he was changing the guard of Wrigleyville, you could tell he was more in it for the money than anything, because Wrigleyville is not the same anymore. It doesn't have that same atmosphere that it used to have. Well, we used to go down there and used to hang out a couple times, the weekends and stuff like that. But it's just hope. I'm saying I'm just hoping that we do get an owner. I don't want to repeat myself here again, but we'll see. We don't even know if they're getting sold yet. We're just wishful thinking at this point.
Yeah. No, sorry. I want to get my thought in here, guys. Friday on Pat McAfee's show, Ari Emanuel was on.
Yes.
And he seemed like he was very interested in the Bears if they're being available to buy. So he said he very much likes the coaching staff. He likes Caleb. He was talking about the valuation of them. But what do you think, Rob? Ari Emanuel, Ari Gold,
Absolutely. And Jay, I'm glad you mentioned it, because that was part of my notes. I watched that interview on the Pat McAfee show, and then I heard Carmen Yurko talking about it today. And the one thing that stands out about Ari Emanuel, obviously, famously brother of Rahm Emanuel, ties to the city, but Ari Emanuel and Endeavor, they're the ones that brought out, TKO Boxing. They bought out the WWE and the UFC, both of which have been run quite possibly better now than in previous owners. But Dana White's still running the UFC, but the Fertittas owned UFC for a long time, and they were a casino. They got famous making, a bunch of casinos in Vegas and all over the United States. But when Endeavor took over, a lot of UFC fans were worried about, like, how is this going to look? This big corporation, this media and just like a huge company buying it over. I think it's ran pretty successfully, and same with the WWE. Obviously, Vince McMahon and like his influence, building his business. It was going to be interesting to see when he left, and he kind of got pushed out, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. But everything Endeavor's done has been awesome. I think it's good. The Netflix move has made sense. A lot of the other like business aspects, I mean, you could argue about going to Saudi Arabia and taking that money, and that's a different conversation. But WWE right now is being ran competently. So if you're telling me those are the people that are running the Bears, sign me up, because they know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. I think he would be my 1A as opposed to like Cuban or Bezos, because they're gonna come in with the money, but how hands-on are they going to be as owners? And I feel like if Ari, because he has the Chicago roots, that he would be more inclined to make the Bears succeed and to put a winning product on the field no matter what. And he probably wouldn't tolerate mediocrity or fucking imagine if Ari Emanuel was in charge right now and Kevin Warren's fucking being wishy-washy on where to put the fucking stadium. He'd have Kevin Warren on his ass so quickly, or he'd be like, motherfucker, put the stadium in Arlington. That
I like that you. I mean, I know it was
comparing him to Ari Gold.
Yes, I know that it's based on Ari Gold. I think you think they're the same person, and it's like, no, Mark Wahlberg made this character up, dude. I know it's based off of Ari Emanuel, but we're not gonna get Ari Gold and Lloyd as the owner of the Bears.
I will say there will be an irony if that were to happen, if Ari Emanuel would become the Bears owner, because there is an episode or two on Entourage where Ari Gold, Jerry Jones and the NFL were pursuing him to become a owner of an NFL team. So that actually would be pretty crazy if that were to happen.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. All right, so more to come on that. We'll see what happens as the news drops with after. I mean, I don't think they don't think they buried her yet, right? They didn't have the funeral or anything.
No, I don't think so. I think we would have seen.
Yeah,
pictures.
I'm not trying to be insensitive about it, but I'm thinking they're probably waiting after the funeral to.
Yeah. One last thing. It's not about the ownership group, but it's just about the McCaskey and the passing of Virginia in general. Because me and Julie, I'm sure a lot of people in the comments and everyone saw the 7-minute video that the Bears put out about her life and her owning the Bears and like growing up with George and, her turn owning and winning in 85 and everything else. And I thought, while I have issues with the McCaskey family in general, and obviously we're a passionate group of Bears fans, and that made me more conflicted than anything. I thought it was a really good video, and it really humanized her in a way that both the McCaskeys and we could talk about the Reinsdorf or most owners don't really get humanized. And I thought George could do something different now that he's running the team. And I know he umpires and he shakes hands at tailgates and stuff like that. But if you just put yourself out there more and do interviews or do like these type of things, it tends to like win you favor, But the problem with both Reinsdorf and the McCaskies is they're so like anti-media, anti-interviews, anti-everything that I was like, man, one 7-minute YouTube clip kind of like changed a little bit of like how I saw this person. Like, what if you just did this a little more often? Granted, Jerry's just probably going to shit on everything and he wouldn't like, it wouldn't humanize him at all. But I thought like, it was just interesting that like, man, maybe George can do something different than what, almost like the Bill Rocky situation.
Does George start swearing now?
That's what I'm saying. People are saying bring back the Honey Bears. The Honey Bears is the last piece of the puzzle for the Bears to win Super Bowls again. But even just little things like I saw Barstool Chiefs talk about how there's a possibility that they knew this was going to happen to Virginia and he had power of attorney. And that's the reason they were able to go and sign Ben Johnson, is because they opened up the purse strings with, the son actually spending the money that the mother would never do. So I was like, that was a little interesting. That's more conjecture. That's more hearsay, but it makes sense. Like he's got to do something different. And now that he's running the team, and if the line of succession holds true and the NFL helps him, gain the majority ownership or whatever, maybe there's a chance for him to do the right thing. Because as much as we want to talk about ownership and this and that and like selling the team, the McCaskies are printing money hand over fist. There's no reason for them to sell.
Right.
Go ahead, Dougie.
I was going to say, my question is now, do we see George get the glow up this
I was
off?
the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Let's glow this up.
I mean, maybe mommy was dressing him. Maybe mommy was dressing him.
Don't swear. Put on your school bell's uniform.
He was wearing
Good
Kmart
boy,
clothing.
Yeah. If he comes back with a beard and slick back hair like Eberflus, we're going to buy the Kool-Aid. We're going to buy the Kool-Aid this fall.
Pops the collar.
Are we doing this again if that happens?
Back-to-back off-season champs, the Bears.
Let's start stressing like Fonzie or something.
Yeah, he's gonna have to ride up. He's gonna have to ride up to like training camp on a motorcycle for me to even.
What if he shows up in that Kendrick Lamar Grand National? He shows up to Hallis Hall in that thing. We're like, fuck yeah, that'll win me over.
Rims.
As he's blasting Kendrick Lamar, be humble.
Yeah.
Dude, now since you brought that up, dude, I was with an older gentleman who had no idea who was Kendrick Lamar, and the only comment that came out of his mouth about the whole thing was, "He's fucking up that hood." That's all he said. All he said, that hood's fucked.
Hood up the car, not hood as a neighborhood.
Yeah, hood of the car.
Oh yeah.
Good catch.
All right, so that wraps up our Bears talk. Let's get into some headlines now.
Oh, I left, obviously. So I didn't tell you guys. I left the show for a little bit in the beginning of the show because Landon took a little bit of a digger. He was bleeding profusely it looked like Ric Flair out there, just bleeding, but it was just his nose. Anyway, I left. Obviously, when I leave the StreamYard, the slideshow was deleted. So I got to load it up. So Jason, why don't we play an ad? I'm gonna play a merch ad. Yeah, play the merch ad.
Oh.
Big Cartel is the official home of Chicago Sports Bums merch. Help support your favorite podcast by buying a couple of two-tree shirts. We got socks, bears, hawks, and bum branded threads, and all of our shirts are unisex sizes. Remember, all the proceeds go back directly into our Whiskey at Comiskey tailgates that keeps them free for everyone. And keep an eye out for new shirts coming very soon. So visit shysportsbums.bigcartel.com today. God fucking damn it. We didn't take off the Virginia the Clown shirt on the ad.
These things happen.
Yeah.
One last one for the road. Sorry.
God damn it.
Yeah, is Landon okay? Everything good with Landon?
Yeah, Landon's okay. He's good. He was bleeding like a son of a gun. Like I told you, it was Ric Flair up there, but he's okay now, so we're good.
Yeah, we got to get rid of the Bears crossword puzzle shirt because Keenan Allen ain't coming back.
Yeah, we got some updating to do.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
All right. So we got some headlines here. First is this from the Sox, this fancy new ballpark pass that they're getting all March, April, and May home games for a whopping $125. So 27 games, 100. Someone do the math on that. That's like
You're the logistics guy. You're our math guy.
no, I'm logistics. I'm not math. I'm not.
That's the same
Yeah,
thing in my book.
I thought you were the numbers guy.
No, give me a city and I'll tell you the mileage, or give me a city, I'll tell you the zip code. But
It's like four and a half, almost less than $5.
$4.62 a game.
Yeah, $4.62.
still too much. No.
Yeah.
Are you guys buying into this? Is this
Dude, I love this. I really do like that. Obviously, we talked about the marketing team for the White Sox, and I gave them credit during Sox Fest Live. They're doing everything they can, whether it's the giveaways, the bobbleheads, the shirts, the hats, everything they can to get people in the ballpark. And this is just another version of that because they know, the team itself isn't going to perform well enough to get people in the ballpark. This is a great deal. The only issue personally that I have with it is that this is my busy season at work. Like March, April, May is when I make all my money. So it's I would buy this if they offered this for the end of the season, maybe like the last 27 games. But me personally, if I was a high school, college student, or even, just like a young professional, or just, this is a great deal. Mm-hmm. I really do like it. It includes the home opener and everything else. I was like, I wish they did this when we were younger. And they did stuff like that. Remember they used to do the $5 bring a Pepsi can in the ballpark on Mondays.
Half price Mondays.
Yeah.
But I like it. I got to give him credit where credit's due. We shit on the White Sox a lot, and we probably will be once the season starts. But for now, this is good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got to give him credit on this. It's dirt cheap. My one beef with it that I don't like is your tickets aren't available until 24 hours prior to the game, which means you've got zero chance of selling it. I know nobody's going to buy it, but even if you wanted to just get your money back for, that said game or whatever, you've got 24 hours to do so. So,
are you able, so I guess I didn't look into this that much, but are you able to is it an assigned seat that they give you when you get this, or can you sit anywhere?
It rotates. So you're
gotcha.
In the ballpark app, one day you'll be sitting in left field. The next day you could be. There's probably going to be a good amount of games in the upper deck, but maybe
528.
Yeah, no, but yeah. I think I did read that. I think it's going to be mostly 100 level.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good.
Well, that's because for most of those games during that stretch,
a Wednesday afternoon game. Yeah.
Right.
So I think maybe one day you sit in the 108, next day down the third base line, but it's going to vary, and you won't find out until the ticket gets uploaded into your app.
Oh, it's like a Royal Rumble type of thing.
That kind of it keeps you guessing.
Yeah.
I like this. I mean, if I had more time in my hands, I live closer to the park, I'd probably fuck with this. But again, this is also why we don't do Whiskey at Comiskey in April, because majority of those games are going to get rained out or be 35 degrees out.
Weather,
and it's just going to be a miserable fucking time.
Oh, there you go.
Jer's saying he's buying a 20 pack.
A beer?
I was about to say they don't sell beer in
Cigarettes?
20 packs, buddy.
In a pack of what?
Cigarettes?
Tamales. Yeah, you gotta specify, brother.
Yeah.
All right, next
All right.
one is right up our wheelhouse. Although I think Jason, I think you said no to this. Maybe I'm wrong. So Noon Whistle, our friends, Dougie's friends at Noon Whistle, came up with a Jepson Malort that is infused with hot Cheetos, and my Mexican ass immediately said, "Hell yeah, I want to try this. We got to get our hands on this. I want to do it on a happy hour or even just like a video somewhere." But I see you shaking your head, Johnny. Jason,
I'll fuck with. You know what? When I first saw the picture of it, I thought it was like because they had like the rim, like the pepper rim on there too. I thought it was like a shot of Michelada or something like that, or a Bloody Mary shot or something. I didn't think it was Malort flaming Cheetos, but yeah, I'll fuck with that. I think that could be a good a field trip out to Lombard and do a review.
Yeah. No, thank you for me.
Aaron's down the
I'm
clown.
not doing
What
that.
is it? The hot Cheetos that you say no to, or the Malort?
It's the combination of both. Like I'm not a big Malort person, and then to mix it or whatever this is. I mean, it's not appealing to me at all.
Could you imagine after a heavy night of drinking and a few of those in your system if you threw up? Like that'll just get like an esophagus replacement.
Well, you can't be. This has got to be like a one and done thing. Maybe two at most, but you can't be drinking more than two of these things.
Fucking puking, like, are you puking blood? No, I had Cheeto Malort.
But I thought, like, I mean, credit to the 108 guys. Shout out Tina. We did the Milwaukee road trip with Sox Machine in the 108, and Tina brought the cicada infused Malort, and that seemed to be a hit. I can't imagine this is any worse than that.
Yeah, they were actually
bring it to a tailgate.
Yeah, they were actually the original and originators of the syndicate. And then there was a whole bunch of people that made a big stink about it because you're killing bugs, and they had to take it down.
Well, wasn't it more of like the health aspects of it, of like disease or fucking shit?
It was a very mixed thing, especially when the zombie cicada thing came out. But I don't want to promise anything, but I think I'm pretty close to acquiring a bottle of that for us. So.
Hell yes, that's worth that's a tease.
Yeah,
E-Flow saying I would have eaten more cicadas. Not gonna lie, I probably would have too if I would have known John Boy and Barstool would have picked it up. That was I would have done it for the clout, but I wasn't gonna do it normally. That's my bad.
Do it for that's why it's called doing it for the gram, right?
They did it, yeah. No, E-Flow did it for the gram, and they reaped the benefits of that stunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did. All right, what's the next headline we got?
Next headline is no slide, but it's something we talked about last week about Connor Bedard getting, he's getting a rough go with the media. It was Mark Messier and Brent Sopel, and now Paul Bissonnette of Spit and Chicklets fame. He was on the TNT broadcast, and he talked about Connor Bedard being undisciplined, and he related it to him playing pond hockey, saying he wasn't necessarily all that ready for the NHL. And credit to Connor Bedard, ever since all of this media stuff happening, he's playing like a number one. I mean, he's got 17 points in 16 games. I think last time we talked about it was 14 points in 15 games. He just keeps scoring points. He's averaging almost a point a game. He's showing up. His face-off wins since the beginning of this year are almost double. He was close to like 39% face-off wins. And that's bad if you're trying to win face-offs. Right. I think it's closer to 60 something this year, or at least 2025. So Bedard is proving all the critics and haters wrong, but I wanted to get your take, Dougie, because Paul Bissonnette is a likable character.
I
know he's like Spit and Chicklets is the biggest hockey podcast in the world. He's on TNT. I compare him to the Charles Barkley of hockey, So he's funny, he's charismatic, but also his words mean something and people take them as gospel. So when he started talking bad about Bedard, Then me personally, I'm like, all right, if Messier and Sopel is one thing, but then you heard the Roenick story, which I also thought was bullshit.
Yeah.
And then now Biz Nasty's saying it. I'm like, shit, these are piling up now.
Yeah. I will say Biz Nasty's was a lot more tolerable than Messier's and definitely Sopel's. It was just pointing out stuff. And after this whole thing, the Blackhawks chirped back at Biz Nasty, and I believe at that point, Connor Bedard had I think it was 22 points in 21 games or something like that, and they made a whole graphic, and then they just put on the tweet, and that's pond hockey for you. And big fucking shot at him. And you know what he liked? He liked it. He said, I love hockey. I love this or whatever. And then they did a side-by-side showing Biz Nasty only had 18 points in his whole career, compared to, they were roasting the shit out of him. But then he took a step back or whatever. And he's like, what I want to say is your friends are going to tell you stuff, not necessarily what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And he goes, that's where I was going with that. He goes, I wanted him to hear what I'm saying and take it as for what it's worth instead of just hyping you up. And you know what? That's a good friend, whether they're friends or not. I know that they had a lot of interaction during the Winter Classic, doing different stuff. But dude, as a friend, you got to tell your friends the hard shit that they don't want to hear, and it humbles you as a friend, but it also, you learn from it. That's what good friends do.
Just keep on talking shit about him.
Yeah.
Fuel his hate.
Yeah. Jason's right. It's going to fuel the fire with him. And this is just his second year, man. If I can understand if this was his third year or fourth year or fifth year, and it'd be all right, man, this guy's not who we thought he was going to be. It's his second year, man. And he's still again, I'm not trying to compare him to Kane or anything like that, but he's had really good numbers comparable to Kane. And he's on a worse team than Kane ever was, because Kane was surrounded by a lot of good players coming up, a lot of young talent. Bedard doesn't have that. And now he's doing the majority of this stuff by himself. There's no defense for that team. It's just I think it's yes, you're gonna want to hear all of the net, what he's doing wrong and how he could fix it, because that's how you change things around. What can I do to be better? But I think another thing too is that how Jason mentioned, is that hopefully this fuels him even more, that this will pump him up even more to be all these naysayers and all these criticism of him, these old hockey players that are going, not Sopel, I don't care about that. Messier, he has a Hall of Fame career.
Right.
That's somebody that you want to hear. Gretzky, that's somebody you want to hear to talk about, not Sopel, or not whatever the fuck this guy's name is too, who's had 17 points for his career. Whatever the fuck is. I don't know. I'm not going to say I follow him or anything like that, but I just think that, for him having a second year and the amount of criticism, yes, he is a number one pick. He was highly touted, highly talented, but I just think that there's a lot of people that are criticizing him way too hard when they really shouldn't, when it's only a year and a half or 2 years.
It's been right around 100 games. I think he hit 100 games a couple weeks ago.
The guy some slack. Yeah. He's gonna get better. He's gonna improve. You surround him with other talent, you're gonna see what he can do. We've already seen what he can do. Just last year, he was great. I went to the home opener and he scored. That was the first goal that was scored in that first game for the Hawks, and he was just doing things that I was like, wow, I can't believe he's doing this. And I thought this is a second coming to Kane. It could possibly be, but you got to give this guy a chance. You got to give him time, and you got to give him a fucking talent. Team.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
I mean, it's only going to go as far as long as you surround him with talent, veterans as well too. That's another thing too. You got to surround them for young talent, but you also have the veterans in there as well too.
Right.
Good veterans, not crappy ones. So I think he'll be fine. I think a lot of people are just too hard, too hard on him and stuff like that. And, I think he's going to come out of it sophomore season.
Yeah.
He's going to be better. I think he's just going to be fine.
Yeah. Well,
I was just going to say, you also got to look at it this way too. He was hurt a lot last season with that broken jaw, so he missed a lot of time there too. So I mean, he's basically on a season and some change right now. The takeaways that I will say that I love to see out of him, he never misses an optional skate. That dude is at an optional practice every single time there's a practice, and you're not seeing that from this team at all. I mean, you're seeing an optional practice with like 8 guys showing up. And, when you're that bad of a team, there shouldn't be such thing as optional practice. And I get it, like, hey, guys need time off, rest, veterans, this, that, and everything. But when you're that bad of a team and 8 guys are showing up to an optional skate, that just speaks the volumes of like, they're going to need a decent coach. They're going to need somebody that's going to draw everything out of these guys. And it could be just like the Bears, like there's a lot of these players that might just need extra coaching and they need the challenges.
Yeah. One last thing about the Hawks, because we really haven't talked to Hawks since our watch party. And it's very similar to the Bears, like you mentioned, the call-ups and, like all of the young players that get called up maybe by the end of the season going into the summer. But the other thing, and this is now I'm looking because I've noticed it, the last 2-3 weeks, it's been easier to watch. They're losing, but they're scoring goals. They're scoring 6 goals, 6 goals, 4 goals, 2 goals, 3 goals. Like, I'll take those games. Beginning of the season, they were borderline impossible to watch. They would shoot the puck sometimes, 15 times a game. It's like I know the old like hockey saying is like, like all the fans just yell shoot the puck whenever because you want them to shoot the puck. But sometimes, especially this young Blackhawks team, they refuse to shoot the puck. And it's like, you're just give us something. And now the defense is bad. They're going to be bad. But at least, they're putting together some semblance of an offense. And that at least makes it easier to watch. So I'm happy that, within the last like 2.5 weeks or so, the Blackhawks are putting a better product on the ice. Still losing, but easier to watch, even though technically not easier to watch because they're still on CHSN and nobody's watching.
Yeah. And the unfortunate part of it is you've got a trade deadline coming up. So anybody that is possibly good, like Joey P was saying, Ryan Donato, who's been just absolutely lights out this season, I could see him going. I could see him getting traded. You got some of these other veteran guys that could possibly get traded depending on what their clauses are and their contracts and everything. But you're not really going to get much for them. You might get a 3rd or 4th rounder for these older guys that, don't have much left on their contract. And then you got Seth Jones, who you owe him a lot of money still. He's been absolutely abysmal, and you're going to have to pay up to get rid of him, I think. But yet some people are still, Sloth Jones. Some people are still looking at him. I don't know what they see, but if they see it, let them see it and let them take them. So this team is going to get worse.
Fun.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I have one last thing for headlines before we move on, and that's pitchers and catchers report. Guys, football's over. We got to ramp the baseball talk back up now. So pitchers and catchers report this week. Baseball is officially back. Woo-hoo. My question to you guys is, which players are you guys going to be having your eye on during spring training?
The good ones.
The good ones. No, so
White Sox,
I think he might be still in the comments, but Beefloaf talked to Courtney Finicum today on the Au Jus, and they were talking about Kyle Teal, and that's someone that I've had my eye on. The story came out on the A.G. Przinsky podcast about him doing he was in the batting cages naked, and like he just seems like a vibes guy. But realistically, Kyle Teal could be someone that really stands out in spring training, and I want to see him get to the major league and see what he can do, because a catcher that can hit for power and just be like they mentioned, a two-way player is like, I'm in for that, because we've had a bad run since, Grendal and everywhere, like the catcher, like, just give me a good backstop and go from there. But obviously the other one, Jay, and it's someone that again I mentioned. I was in on Noah Schultz. I don't want to do the Barry Horowitz pat my back because I was in on Noah Schultz since the day they drafted him, and it was more of a joke. It was a joke because I made fun of his height, and I said, "Give me all of the freak shows. Give me all of the tall players, fat players. Like, just give me like an assortment of like circus characters." But it ended up that Noah Schultz is the damn real deal. Now, the only issue with Noah Schultz is that like he really hasn't had the longevity of pitching. He's never pitched more than I believe it's like nowhere near like 4 innings. So it's like I want to see him and I want to see how he can develop because I'm in on that Randy Johnson tall flame throwing motherfuckers. Give me some Noah Schultz action.
All right. Well, you guys.
I know you're gearing this towards the White Sox, but damn it, I want to see what the hell is going on in Anaheim. I want to see what they're doing with Moncada and TA signing those two fools, man.
That's a great answer,
dude. That's all I'm tuned in on right now. I am so focused. If they end up both on that team and like that side of the infield is lights out, oh man, I gotta see that. That's what's got me geared up.
I would say that I'm just looking for competitive baseball this year. I mean, you have a farm system that's in the top 10 again. Will this time around, will it work? That's what I'm looking for. We've been hearing about Colson Montgomery, for the longest time. I'm pretty sure he's going to come up this year. A lot of these young arms that we have in the farm system as well too. We have a ton of catchers. I realize that we have a ton. It seems like a very loaded catching prospects and all that. So I'm just looking for competitive baseball out of these guys, and hopefully not a repeat of what we saw from that 2016-ish to 2017-18 farm system where we were like, on the top 10, top 5, we had all these players, went to like 2 back-to-back playoffs series, and nothing happened. So, I mean, I'm hoping that like things turn around, and I hope these kids can play and can turn the organization around. But yeah, I think for the most part, I think Colson Montgomery is one that I've been kind of like eyeing since they drafted him. He's got that swing like they compare it to kind of like Bellinger as well too. Can he be just as good as Bellinger? I don't know, but if he is, that's great for us. So, I'm just saying in general, I just hope it happens. And I hope that these kids will, when they come up to the big leagues, obviously some will, some won't, but if they do, and they play well, that they could turn this thing around and we could see multiple playoffs and possibly World Series on the south side of Chicago.
Jason, yeah. Can I guess your answer before you give your answer?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like sometimes we have a little something going on here. Tim Elko.
You got one of 2.
You've been on Tim. You love Tim Elko. You've been wanting to print Tim Elko shirts since like the day we learned who Tim Elko was.
Yes, I want to see what Tim Elko can do. But the one guy I'm really focusing on, I want to watch and see is Hagen Smith. I mean, obviously,
Hagen with the mustache.
Obviously, Noah Schultz is going to be like the guy everyone's focusing on. But I want to see what Hagen Smith can do. I think he opened up. Obviously, he's like another big left-hander. And I think what did he get listed at in MLB Pipeline? 34, I think it was. Yeah, Schultz was. I know Schultz was ahead of him, but I think he was 34 on the pipe. But I think I think it's the guy I'm going to be focusing on. I think we all assume Noah Schultz is going to be a stud. He's tall. We know that much. And Sox have a good thing with tall pitchers. So
tall, skinny, drinks of water.
Yeah. So Noah Schultz and Tim Elko are the 2 guys I'm going to be watching a lot Hagen Smith and Tim Elko are going to be the guys that I'm watching the spring training. So pitchers and catchers a report on Friday. I think a week from now, all teams there, and then first game 22nd against the Cubs. So We're gonna have to do a baseball spring training, show maybe.
Yeah,
something.
we're gonna have to run it back with Praz too. Maybe we do it on Bums in the Bleachers. We do like another crosstown, preview show. Praz is saying, please don't trade Lube up to the NL Central. That's all I ask. That was gonna be. We haven't done them, but we usually do season predictions. Like, I don't think it's a hot take at all, but I think Luis is getting traded at least by the trade deadline.
As long as his hamstring, glutes, core,
So best case scenario, he had that Instagram picture like everyone does, lifting those weights this week, and everyone best shape of his life, best shape of his career. Everyone is. But I really do think if he hits the ground running, that best case scenario is he has a great first half of the season and you're able to trade him for something. Who knows what? But yeah, maybe to the Reds just to piss off Praz.
Just don't run too hard.
Yeah,
don't run too hard.
All right, and then just a reminder, guys. We're close. There we go. There's a picture. We're close to opening day tailgate. Whiskey at Comiskey is back. March 27th. We can't wait to see everyone. That one is going to be sponsored by Bubba's Whiskey, which is sister company for Michter's. But just announced, June 28th is going to be sponsored by Maker's Mark. So Maker's is going to be in the house in June. In the lot, I guess I shouldn't say. Is it in the house, in the lot, whatever. So that one will have Maker's Mark just announced with that. And just a reminder to everyone, obviously, we're keeping all of our tailgates free this year as well. So any merch you buy, any super chats goes directly into Whiskey at Comiskey. So we got hats, we got shirts, and obviously super chats. But yeah, that's all that stuff is going to keep everything free for everyone with the food and the beer and all that good stuff. So we appreciate everyone's support. But we talked about making June 8th a tailgate for Southpaw's birthday.
We did.
I think it's happening, guys. I think we're making Southpaw's birthday tailgate a thing. It's not going to be official Whiskey at Comiskey though.
Right. We'll announce the details, and we'll announce all the fun information soon. We're gonna have graphics lined up, but it's gonna be a fun time. At least that's all we can say for now. But mark that June 8th in your calendars.
Yes, and we lost Dougie.
That happened. I left earlier in the show. This might be another kid thing, so I hope his kids are okay, because mine was bleeding in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, maybe he got struck by Telemundo internet, but yeah. Thanks to everyone for support. We'll have more information for opening day coming soon. All right, Johnny, we're gonna do your question of the week next week. Because we gotta bump some people here. We went long on the Super Bowl talk.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
You call me a bum? My man, I take that with pride, with honor, that I'm a bum. I'm the king of the bums, baby.
Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that? Bum. A bum.
Bum.
Bum. All right, real quick from Mailman Jack, send Whiskey at Comiskey to Japan. I would love to.
I would love that.
Should we start a GoFundMe, guys?
No.
Possibly. Then the problem with, I like the idea. The problem is then we would have to put ourselves in the Bum of the Year tournament, just like we did Bleacher Jeff. I will say, you said send Whiskey at Comiskey to Japan, Jason. The NFL announced Melbourne.
God damn it! Additional Bum of the Week.
I knew that was going to get you real good. I knew that was going to get you.
Are we talking about the moon soon? Or are we going to the moon? The Mars?
We're going to the moon.
Yeah.
Elon's sending us there.
It's a 15-hour difference. Well, no, why are we doing Melbourne now? Come on, enough with this shit. It's too much. It jumped the shark. I am 100% against international games. It's too much now. I'm just waiting for the Saudi fund to finally get into Goodell's pockets now.
Okay, so I knew that was gonna get you going, and Mailman Jack in the super chat, thank you. You know, him saying send that to Japan was gonna get you. But realistically, we've talked about this, and they announced it. So the Melbourne game is gonna be Friday their time. It's gonna be a Thursday night football game for us. So nothing changes with your like viewing aspect. It's just like watching another Thursday night game, or at least that's what they said. It's gonna be Thursday night football. It's gonna be like noon Melbourne time on Friday. Does that change anything? It doesn't change. It doesn't affect your life at all. It's just a Thursday night football.
Yes, it affects my life because that's one less game in American soil. God damn it!
Okay.
Brian says he doesn't even want to go to Blue Jay games.
Just too much.
All right,
right.
bum of the week.
All right, get back to our listener bums and MVBs here. Joey P, bum of the week. Modern day Super Bowl commercials. Yeah, they don't make them like they used to, right?
There was no. I mean, the game itself stunk, so I had more time to watch the commercials and kind of socialize. I don't want to complain just to complain, but they were bad this year. There weren't really any ones that stood out. I like the David Beckham, Matt Damon one, but even that one seemed like lazily
I like
written.
the Uber Eats one, the Matthew McConaughey Uber Eats.
Yeah,
I thought
mean,
that one was.
McConaughey's been killing the commercials. The you know, with the Ditka sweater and everything else. That one was good, but there's a lot of bad ones. What was the tongue one? That was weird.
The tongue.
There was like one with like a.
Yeah, it was a weird. It was a weird.
It was a very weird commercial. Oh, Seal as a Seal was really good. That made me laugh. That was a really good commercial.
I did laugh at that one. But the Dunkin' Donuts one was that one kind of sucked. The ones with the guys with the cowboy head hats, their hats were shaped like cowboy hats. That was.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
that was fucking weird.
The Pringles mustache one was good. I got a lot of DM. I got multiple DMs. We were in a group chat with the Penguins, but also I got another one saying like, "Did Johnny get the bag? Is that why he shaved his mustache? Are you holding out advertisement dollars? Did you get Pringles money that we don't know about?" Damn it, son of a bitch! I guess happy birthday.
Yeah. But yes, they definitely were a down year for the commercials. Like only a handful stood out is decent.
Yeah. MVB.
Johnny, happy birthday, Hermano.
thank you.
630 Whiskey, also known as Aaron the Intern. MVB, the Eagles for defeating the evil team. Yes. Always happy that we're Philly scumbags this weekend. But we Peter's Tio for rigging the Super Bowl strip cards in his favor. Oh, care to defend your uncle's honor here, Peter?
Yeah. So I think my Uncle Pepe, shout out my Uncle Pepe. He might not listen because I don't think he knows how to listen, but he is subscribed to the channel. So on the off chance that he does listen or is watching, I will say we were all complaining about the rigging of the strip cards, but then me and Julie won the fourth quarter. So I think it's all on the up and up. We're good. We're Gucci. No one's complaining.
So wait, why was it rigged? Because was he winning?
You know what? Here, I'll tell you. I'll tell you the whole thing. My Uncle Pepe has a horseshoe up his ass. That's what it is. He will win money. Just like there was a story where my uncles and his friends, they would go on Vegas every year. The minute he got off that airplane, went to the slots, got like $1,500 right off the bat. Like that's he just wins money. There's people out there that are like that. So one year, this was like a couple years ago, we had the same thing. We had the strip cards, real strip cards, and he won all four quarters.
Yeah, he did win all four quarters of Super Bowl.
Damn.
It's just the way he is.
Maybe he's like the movie Rounders. Maybe we caught a hanger Sarge. Maybe he's dealing from the bottom or something. There's something up. Now that you mention it, I forgot about.
Did he win the first 3 quarters? Then
he won the first 2. He won first quarter, second quarter, and they were different numbers because we did different numbers for obviously each quarter.
I would have won that second quarter, man, if it wasn't for that fucking interception.
Ugh, brutal.
Yeah, I won the fourth quarter, so no rigging at all.
Yeah, it's no rigging.
Brian S. Bum of the week. Bulls front office for doing like 25% of the moves they needed to make before the deadline. I thought we were going to see some bum of the weeks for him re-signing Lonzo Ball to an extension, but
Wait, people are complaining about that, and it sounds like they're directionless, and they are. I mean, they are directionless.
Pick a lane,
and then they, talk about like, maybe they're tanking, but maybe they want to make it to the play-in game, which makes no sense whatsoever. You don't want to make it to the play-in game. But the only thing I thought of for this Lonzo Ball deal, this makes sense only because it's affordable. It's not a lot of money, and if he plays well, this is an actual contract that you can flip. This is the only contract possibly that you can flip. So this deal actually made sense to me.
Yeah, I just don't think the Bulls know what the fuck where they want to go with inner direction. And I think I get why they did it, but at this point, you just gotta fucking blow it up and trade whoever you got. Because as much as I think Lonzo Ball brings value to the team, I mean, do you really trust him to stay healthy after that major surgery, like in the rehab and the coming back? Like, I mean, you're really just taking a big chance with this guy's health that he's going to stay healthy after being out for 2+ years. So,
but it's not a lot of money.
I know, but it's just like, it's just pick a direction, rebuild, or, keep guys that you like. I want to rebuild.
The Kobe Ayo thing is weird because there was rumors that there was I think 6 teams interested in Kobe White. Like, even if that's half that, even if it's 3 teams, you start a little bit of a bidding war. You get something for him, and they didn't. It's crazy.
Yeah. As MVP, I'm going to give the Super Bowl refs a little credit. They did a solid job steering clear of any semblance of favoritism. I thought it was going down the shitter the first big play to AJ.
The first pass interference play.
People were
pissed.
That was some weak ass PI.
It was hands to the face.
Yeah.
But people were pissed. I know. Yeah. Everyone's like, "Here we go, ref show," and I said it too. I was like, "Here comes the ref show." But they made it seemed like a makeup call. The other pass interference on the other side, it was again like hands to the face, kind of like it could have been, couldn't have been. But I think the refs did fine. Also, the refs do fine when it's a freaking blowout.
Yeah. All right, next up, Roxy. Bum of the week. People who hated on Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. There was a lot. MVP. All the puppies who participate in the Puppy Bowl. Puppy Bowl is the best part of Super Bowl Sunday, in my opinion. It goes every time. It's every year. It's on at 2:00, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
You watch it? Do you
Yes.
you put it on and start watching?
Yes. Put the Puppy Bowl on. Max likes it too.
Did you bet on it?
No.
Nah.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Start betting on the doggos.
Yeah.
Colonel Bourbon, bum, KC fans or the Bulls front office. So either or both. Either.
Yeah.
But MVP, Chiefs for giving America what we wanted. That's right. A complete utter destruction faceplant on national television in front of I think it was like 126 million people. Fox tweeted out that it was like their highest rated or highest most viewed Super Bowl. I think so.
Damn.
Yeah. Mailman Jack, MVBs, Vic Fangio, and that Buick GNX. Both of these icons should have been enough to satisfy anyone over 50.
It's true. I mean, that car's sweet. Vic Fangio, maybe sweeter.
Bum of the week. Driving westbound at sundown. Yeah, it's.
Oh, dude, I got hit with that on Friday driving down I-55 where the sun wasn't even in my direction, but it was just at the right time where it's literally in your rear view mirror, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "This lady just blinded." It's that time of the year where you need sunglasses if you're driving.
We also had one late entry. It was from Jeff Bartlett, MVB, Aaron Glenn for letting Aaron Rodgers know who was running the show with the Jets. Bye-bye. Hopefully
Hell
come
yeah.
back.
See ya.
Yeah,
Bye.
come back.
Does he land anywhere? You think he goes somewhere else? I think he's done so.
I don't think, even if he wants to play, who's going to take him?
That's what I think.
The funniest thing that they could do.
What, the Vikings?
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I mean, Raiders or the Steelers.
Oh my God. Why would you even put that? You know what? Fuck you. I don't even want to deal with that comment because now I'm going to hear it from both sides. They're like, well, why would you even say that?
Oh.
I'm not ready for that. My household cannot handle.
They need a QB. They need a QB.
Nah, it's Justin Fields season.
All right, let's get to our bums and MVBs. Peter, kick us off.
All right, so my MVP, we talked about it. We talked about the strip cards, and I was kind of tweeting along my Super Bowl viewing. I was taking some candid pictures of Aaron and Missy and Johnny and everyone. But my MVP is my Uncle Pepe for hosting the Super Bowl every year. It was a good time. Food was great. Everyone had brought something. We drank. Everyone brought a bottle of whiskey. We had a good time. And another MVP, because I was really worried about it, and I think he was on his best behavior, all things considered, was Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul is a wild card. I said he was a freight train that runs on Heineken. And sometimes he's out of pocket and he says stuff that would cancel all of these podcasts, not just ours, but just White Sox Twitter as a whole. He would just get canceled as a whole. But he was good. He behaved himself. I think all things considered, it was a good showing by Uncle Paul. So credit to him. See, Aaron in the comments saying Uncle Paul was so nice. Still says some shit. Still has to get his comments in. But it was a good all things considered. So it was a good time. Obviously, Julie was there, Aaron was there, Johnny and Missy and my sisters and everyone. So it was a good time. So thank you to them. Like I mentioned, Pepe subscribes. So if he listens, great. But I don't think he knows how to listen to podcasts. So and then my bum of the week, it's Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, but not for their, play on the field, which should be a bum in and of itself. But this game was over the second these two assholes showed up to the football game dressed like this. I saw these tweets because I'm, always online. So I saw the pregame fits, if you will. And Pat Mahomes is dressed in Eagle colors, which I understand is trying to send a message, but that just seems like bad juju. Yeah. And then the other thing is Travis Kelce, while I like him and I do consider myself a Swiftie, this guy's dressed like a 1970s pimp. And then he's got the hair of what's the guy from Boy Meets World? Corey's friend?
Oh, yeah.
Sean Hunter?
Yeah.
Sean Hunter.
He's got the Sean Hunter haircut with this suit. I'm like, what in the fuck is happening with these two guys? So I knew the game was over. I had Eagles running away with, I had Eagles money line and I had a bunch of other Eagles bets because I was confident in the roster. As soon as I saw these two idiots, I was like, no chance they're winning. So thank you. I guess I should MVP them, but no, they're bums of the week because I subscribe to the look good, feel good, play good mantra, if you will. But this was a step too far.
As soon as I saw him in that suit, I was like, oh, cool. He borrowed his brother's suit.
Yeah. Bad luck. It's bad luck. I mean,
question for you.
Johnny could pull it off, maybe.
I can't pull it off. I mean, that's not even a no doubter.
See, I don't get and maybe it's just I don't have any fucking fame or money, but I don't get why everyone dresses up to walk into a locker room.
No,
I'd be off. I walk off the bus in a hoodie and sweatpants.
No, dude, it's a look good, feel good, play good thing. So back in high school and college, we used to wear suits for home games, for soccer, and it is like it kind of like juices you up a little bit because it's a game day feel, game day fits, if you will. So I do like the dressing up. If we had like a big event, maybe we should do like a pregame fit or something.
I did that one time. I was on with a suit. Like I did that.
For what?
Oh man.
Yeah, it was for that.
It's for New Year's Eve, wasn't it?
No, it was for. Oh, I did. No, I did that for my comeback special, and then I did that for Peter, when you did those drinks, you were on for like an hour.
Yeah, that was for the 108 tournament.
Yeah,
it was my Edward 40 Hands. You showed up in a suit because you were going to host it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Johnny. Look good, feel good, play good. You did good. Jason said he maybe would you dress up if we do a
I mean, I could dress up. I'm just saying, like, if I was coming from the hotel to the bus, I'm not wearing a suit. I'm just fucking wearing my pajamas and then getting dressed for a game.
Nah, you gotta.
I'm staying comfortable, man. And then not only am I staying comfortable, but I'm not going to open myself to criticism from Baloney Fonseca on Twitter about my suit.
You remember when Cam Newton got benched because he didn't wear a tie? Ron Rivera had that. Yeah, Ron Rivera had a rule that, like, coming off the bus, you had to have a tie. And Cam Newton, you know, obviously always wears crazy stuff, highly fashionable, but crazy stuff. Yeah, he didn't wear a tie, and he was benched. I think either the first quarter or the first half of the game.
Damn,
for not wearing a tie.
Joey P says he dressed like this to go buy tacos. Joey P is a fashionable fella.
Yes. All right, Dougie, you're up next.
I'm just going to make it short and sweet. I'm not going to get into the brass tacks of it. I'm doubling down. I'm going right back to Kanye West. Kanye West, you are my bum. The shit that he is saying is just bummable.
Yeah.
So that's
cancelable.
Yep. So just going to leave it at that. I got two different MVBs. One, my buddy Teddy for throwing one hell of a Super Bowl party. Phenomenal time yesterday. Much needed. And then my other MVB is two guys, my guy Johnny Boy and my guy Twiggies. They went to Vegas, did really good in Vegas, and they know I'm going at the end of the month, so they went to Barry's House of Prime and got me a nice little gift card to have a nice
hell
meal.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be indulging in some nice food thanks to them and their winnings. So MVBs to those guys.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. I'm gonna go next here. I got a couple MVBs. First one is I don't think there's many politicians out there who deserve to get their kudos, but I'm gonna MVB Illinois State Rep Bob Morgan for introducing the Bears Act, which would tie public funding for stadiums to team performance. And I absolutely love that idea because Jerry ain't never getting a new stadium with public money again. If that's the case, and in fact, I tweeted out that all of our stadiums would probably deteriorate if that was the case because they all fucking suck right now. And you put the Bulls and the Hawks under the same roof, that stadium's just crumbling down to the studs, right? So, kudos to Bob Morgan for trying to finally put a stop to this. It seems like they call it the Bears Act. I wish they called it the Jerry Act because it feels like this is more of a Jerry Reinsdorf thing than a Bears thing. But yeah, good for them. Good for him. My second MVB is Serena Williams for crip walking all over Drake's grave yesterday.
Hell yeah.
That was awesome. Special. We're watching it and my wife looks and she's like, "Is that Serena Williams?" And I was like, "Oh shit." Like, and she's just out there in the blue skirt and doing the looking all right. I love it. Pettiness to 100. Very much enjoyed. All right. And then my bum of the week, ESPN Chicago, and maybe even ESPN. But if you're an ESPN Chicago account, you can't tweet this out. When the headline Chiefs fail to join Lakers, Yankees, and prestigious three-peat club, the feat still hasn't been achieved since the Kobe Shaq Lakers of 2002. How do you forget that there was a team in Chicago that did it twice?
Two times, two
three-peats. So ESPN should immediately have not tweeted at a principal, or at least went back to the editor and say, "Hey, put the Bulls in there, you fucking tards," because that's not helpful. Yeah.
Question. Now that I'm thinking about this, and this would never happen to us because we're old. Is there possible that whoever's running the social media for ESPN Chicago wasn't born during the three-peat? And like they probably don't even remember, or they don't even know that the Bulls won because it's some kid born in 2004 or whatever.
Well, when was the last time the Yankees won 3 in a row?
like 90.
Yeah, and that's a good. Yeah, that was in the 90s. Damn it,
98, 99.
that
Or
dissuaded
98.
my argument right there and then and there. Good job, Jason.
Well,
Yeah.
You know, ESPN is known for forgetting the White Sox 2005 championship.
That is true.
Yeah,
Maybe they just have a black ball against Jerry Reinsdorf.
Could be. So
they
yeah,
are
bum
the
of the week.
home of the White Sox, though.
Yes, true. So bum of the week, ESPN Chicago
I like that.
and ESPN in general.
I like that.
All right, Johnny, take us home.
Yeah, so I got 2 MVPs. So first off, I want to thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday, text, calls, singing. And the people who sing to me actually today at work. So I thought that was pretty cool. Even though I didn't want it, but you know, I appreciate you, everybody that reached out, whether like calling me, texting me, social media as well too. Once again, thank you. And then obviously, you know, hanging out on Friday as well too. I had a great weekend. Obviously, Saturday as well with, you know, with the kids and all that. And then Sunday Super Bowl. So yeah, I appreciate everybody on that part. The second one, I want to thank Chirizi for he sent me a blog about music, and that I did for the 108, which I'm a huge music lover. I love music, and it was really fun to write one of my favorite albums. I wouldn't say it's my favorite album of all time, but it's definitely one of the top ones in my library here, if you so to say. So like to thank him as well too. I had a very good conversation with him about music on Friday. I was just talking about industrial music and just like all this other stuff. So it was a very good conversation with Chirizi as well too. So yeah, I like to thank him for that. And then my first bum of the week. I don't know how I want to do this because you know what? I'm gonna go with the clip that you got. So let's go with the clip first. It's the national anthem, man. You're throwing fucking octopus on the ice rink, man. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, to me, that's it's just. I mean, I get the whole thing with the tradition with the octopus and throwing it on the ice rink when they score or whatever or however they do it.
It's for hat tricks, right?
Yeah, for hat tricks, yeah. But for me, doing that on the national like anthem, I thought that was very disrespectful. So, bum of the week is at Detroit Red Wings fans for doing shit like that.
What if the octopus kneeled during the anthem?
So my second bum of the week is my second bum of the week. We don't have a clip for it because obviously we don't want
DMCAs.
You know, we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to get in trouble. But if anybody's been following this whole Montoya story, it's a reality show it's a Spanish reality show, and for these past episodes, he's been like all over the place, getting hurt by this girl or girls, and just keeps on running on the beach just in pain. And I'm just wondering, why is this guy still on this show? Like, he's
in love.
Leaving. If this is too much for him, he should not be staying on this show. Like, and this reality show is pretty like intense. Like, they're actually showing these people having sex on this show, and he's actually looking at it on the fucking TV. Like, it's making him feel like even more like,
hold on,
HBO sex, like
no. I knew
it's
you were
covered.
It's
covered. It's covered.
Let me explain this for the people watching or the people confused. It's Love Island, and so he is an electric fan. He's a content factory. I said by this time next week we might just be a Montoya BumCast, and just because every clip that comes out is the most ridiculous clips. So what happened was he showed up to this Love Island with a girlfriend of a year. So he's been dating this girl for a year. And if you guys are familiar with Love Island, you go on different dates with different people. This lady has been busy, if you will. She's been busy with multiple people, and he has to watch. He's watching these dates unfold, and every time it's happened. I've seen 3 different clips on this Montoya guy, and each clip is more ridiculous than the next. He's taking his shirt off and running down the beach. He's yelling and swearing at the gods, and just like getting so animated because he's getting cucked. That's the nitty gritty of the world. Is Montoya is the most famous cuck in the world right now, and I feel bad for the guy. But it's an electric factory. You can't stop watching. This guy cares.
Yes, he's getting his heart ripped, and the drama about it as well too. The everything that around it. When he was running on the beach, there was thunderstorms, like just
everything about
like,
it's unbelievable.
It was like perfect drama for all the shit that was going on. So they got it right on their part. So I can't bum of the week the actual show, but my poor guy, man. I mean, he just keeps on getting his heart ripped, and
tough scenes.
It's tough. It's definitely a tough watch for for a guy that just constantly just looking at his girl and be like,
it's not. To be fair, I don't think it's his girl anymore.
No, it's not his girl.
It's the island's
you're right.
Yeah, she
You're right.
belongs to the beach.
Yeah. Belongs to the beach.
Yeah.
But
to the beach. The main thing is the host of this show. Every time he does these antics, she's just like, Montoya, por favor. And he's just running and going crazy. And I was like, it was just a combination of like, he's a character, he's a cartoon character, but also the name Montoya is like it's a good name to like yell at the world. So it's I'm all in on Montoya.
Oh, all right.
So I've never seen this. Like,
I'm gonna send you the
We're
clip.
gonna send you 3 clips. You're gonna be obsessed with it.
What did he expect was gonna happen?
Oh yeah, he signed up for this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
True.
Like, I mean,
that's true.
if you guys have ever watched the show before, like, do people bring a girlfriend or a boyfriend there, and then like they're like, oh, they're faithful this entire time?
Did I say Love Island? I think Temptation Island is more. It's Temptation Island.
Okay.
Which
Wow.
I don't know the difference between the two, but I guess there's more.
Yeah.
There's more temptation on Temptation Island. Less love.
Yeah. All right. That is our show, everyone. But 2 quick notes. Number 1, we still have our contest running through the end of the month for our Bourbon Bums. Buy a shirt, buy a hat, get entered into the raffle to win a bottle of Blanton's or E.H. Taylor, and plus a mystery bottle from your gracious bourbon guy here. Second, we'll be back on Friday for Bums Happy Hour, special Valentine's Day edition. So that's going to be fun. So join us this Friday for Bums Happy Hour presented by Jack's Place. And that's it. Guys, look forward to the Sox. Going to be a lot of Sox talk this week with pitchers and catchers reporting. So with that, everyone, have a great week, and we will see you very soon.
Master.
Bye. I don't have an outro. So wait, no, I do have an outro.
This is the
outro.
Till we get to the outro.
Outro ain't playing. I'm clicking. All right. End the stream.